Alright, before this video begins, I just want to say I'm kind of feeling congested today, so I'm not talking as loud and clear as I usually do, but I'm going to boost the audio on this video, so it should still be fine. But yeah, you guys are going to have to deal with that on this video, but stay tuned, as it's a good one. Alright, welcome back to another CC Outdoors video. Today we are going to be going over the walking bait, and more specifically, the Bill Lewis Stutter Step. So this is one bait I believe you should be throwing a lot in this late summer to early fall pattern. It's going to be one of my go-to baits here coming up in this later season. Pretty much until around that Halloween time, it seems like in Minnesota is when the topwater bite is really good. And then after Halloween, for those couple weeks before we have ice, just go deep. I mean, you can go deep anytime in the fall, and that's primarily what I like to do. But walking baits in the morning and night can specifically excel, like right at sunrise or sunset. But yeah, so this video is just going to be me going over some footage from yesterday. I didn't catch a ton of fish. It's just been a tough bite around here lately. But I'm going to be going over what I'm doing, the areas that I'm targeting, the setup I'm fishing it on, everything like that that you need to know for this. So yeah, stay tuned and we'll talk about it. Alright, when it comes to retrieves, there's not much to it. As you can see here, I'm just keeping my rod tip down and I am moving that bait quick. But I'm not actually moving the bait that much. The Bill Lewis Stutter Step has a unique design to it where it'll stay in one spot when you twitch it. As you can see here, I am bringing it back to the boat, and that's because I'm reeling as I'm twitching it. But there's sometimes where if you get up underneath a dock or beside a dock, I will twitch that bait in place for a few seconds before I even start to retrieve it. So yeah, basically all you want to do is keep your rod tip down, keep it twitching, and keep it coming towards you because it's a reaction type bait. You don't want a fish getting a good look at it and seeing the hooks. And as you'll see up here, I'll get underneath a dock, twitch it a couple times in place, and that's when I get a blow. Alright, and I did miss that one due to having too much line out, so I have a bad hook set on it. But that's one thing you want to do if you're up by a dock. Keep that bait twitching, but don't move it. You want to twitch it in place. It's a tough technique to learn at first, but with that stutter step it makes it easy. I've tried it with other spooks, baits like that, and you can do it, but it's tough. But yeah, on to the next thing. Alright, now when it comes to hook sets, it's a pretty standard sweeping motion, pretty much like you're fishing a crankbait. There's not a ton to it. After I get done talking, I'll throw up some clips so you can see firsthand. But yeah, all I'm really doing is leaning into that fish and swinging to my right because I reel with my right hand. You pretty much want to sweep the rod into your body and lean back. Oh no, I've thrown everything back. Yeah, no, we just eat. Alright, so when it comes to location, as you'll see here, it's all pretty standard spots that you're going to expect fish to hang out. There's not much to this either. As you can see, most of them are on points as long as weed edges. That second weed edge to the right there, just off the lily pads, I did catch a fish off of that. I usually just try to twitch the bait right along the edge of the weeds. And if I'm doing that, I'm going to be throwing it on a bit heavier braid, which I'll talk about later. But other than that, I like to target points. Otherwise, if there's a lay down in the water, a little bit of brush, some rocks, anything like that, structure, even docks hold fish. Yeah, just find your structure or your points or whatever, and that's where your fish are going to be. Alright, so next up we're going to be talking conditions. Now, it doesn't take any special conditions throwing walking bait, but we're going to talk about ideal conditions. So for me, I like to have low light or a cloud cover like there is today. Otherwise, I like a little bit of wind. Sunrise and sunset bites are the best usually. Air temperature doesn't necessarily matter as long as the water temperature is usually above that 45 to 50 degrees. That's about it for conditions. Alright, so lastly we're going to be talking about setup. And when it comes to your setup, it is very important for this application. So in this area, it's like I'm fishing here off of a point where there's not many weeds, there's some rocks, stuff like that. I'm fishing this on 17-pound mono on a 7'2" medium heavy fast action rod, and I like to have a 7:1 or faster gear ratio reel. And once I'm fishing up around weed lines or emergent grass, stuff like that, I'm fishing a little bit heavier because I'm needing to pull those fish out of the weeds. So I'm still fishing it on a medium heavy fast action rod so you can get that bend on it and not rip the hooks out. But I like to fish that on 20 to 25 pound braid and the same type of reel. But anyways, that is going to conclude today's video. Thank you guys for checking in again. And if you're not already, make sure you subscribe and stay tuned for the next video.